Hello students, welcome to Notebook. Have you ever tricked your friend or family members? How have they reacted to the trick? Did they get angry when they understood that you had tricked them? Or did they laugh at the trick and praise you for your cleverness? We will now talk about Gopal Bhar, a man who kept playing pranks on people and the king in medieval Bengal. People and even the king admired and feared him for his cleverness. Gopal Bhar's stories are very popular among Bengalis. They fondly remember this witty entertainer who performed in the court of King Krishna Chandra, the famous emperor of Nadia. Today, we will talk about one such prank which Gopal Bhar played on the people of his village and on the king. The story is set in the monsoon season in Bengal. Bengal is a riverine state. During the monsoons, the rivers swell up and the Hilsa fish swim to the rivers to lay their eggs. Usually, the Hilsa fish lives in salty seawater. So, the fishermen make the best use of this opportunity. They catch Hilsa fish in large quantities during the monsoon season. In Krishna Chandra's empire, the fishermen were catching Hilsa fish in large quantities. The fishmongers were selling all these fish at cheap rates to the customers. Bengalis love eating Hilsa fish, so the householders were happy to buy them at affordable prices. The courtiers in King Krishna Chandra's court were excited during the Hilsa fish season. They could talk of nothing but Hilsa fish. The king became angry with all this talk of Hilsa fish and scolded his courtiers. The courtiers looked so sad when the king scolded them that he felt guilty. He understood that neither he nor his clever courtier Gopal could stop anyone from talking about Hilsa fish during that time of the year. Gopal told the king that he could prove him wrong. Knowing Gopal was fond of challenges, the king challenged Gopal. Gopal had to buy a huge Hilsa fish and bring it to the palace. But no one on the streets or the court could talk about the fish when they saw Gopal carrying it. Gopal readily accepted the challenge set by the king. Gopal began to dress up before buying the Hilsa fish. He changed his appearance by keeping his face half-shaven and by rubbing ash on his face. He wore ragged clothes. His wife was alarmed and confused when she saw Gopal dressing like a madman. She thought he had lost his mind and gone completely mad. Gopal bought the Hilsa fish and started walking towards the king's palace. People on the streets could not recognize him. They were shocked and confused, and some of them laughed at him. Some thought he was a madman. Others thought he was a mystic or spiritual person. The guards at the king's palace did not recognize Gopal either. At first, they did not let him enter the palace to see the king. Gopal then started dancing and singing loudly. The king finally wanted to see the madman who was dancing outside his palace. The guards allowed him inside the palace. The king recognized him as Gopal and asked him why he was dressed so strangely. Gopal reminded the king of the challenge he had given him. Gopal had successfully passed the challenge because everyone was talking about his clothes and appearance. Nobody had spoken or asked Gopal about the Hilsa fish he was carrying. The king remembered the challenge, laughed at Gopal's clever prank, and congratulated him. With that, we come to the end of our video lesson on Gopal and the Hilsa fish. I am sure you are charmed by Gopal's cleverness. The king also deserves praise for his good-humored nature. He challenges Gopal but laughs happily when Gopal proves him wrong. He is not angry when Gopal outwits him and recognizes Gopal's cleverness. This shows that the king is humble and generous. The whole story is written in the style of a comic book where the pictures mainly tell us the story. The pictures in the story help us understand the characters and their emotions better. Find another comic book and try reading the story by just looking at the pictures. Do not look at the writings in your first reading. Discuss your observations with your friends. See you soon in other videos. Happy learning!